Okay, you Raymond Chandler fans all over the world, what we have in front of us right here is where the great master of simile in 1932 lived when he got fired at the Dabney Oil Syndicate, and where he gestated his first short story, Blackmailers Don't Shoot, in 1932. Fantastic. Philip Marlowe's Los Angeles of the 1930s. Raymond Chandler's era hasn't changed. As you can see, everything's original in this part of LA, right off of Olympic Boulevard. And let's go check it out. And it's amazing because it hasn't been touched. As you can see, it's the same original way it was the day that Raymond Chandler, the savant of simile, when he lived here. 1104 South Longwood. Let's get a frontal shot here. Fantastic. It's at the corner of Edgewood Place and Longwood Avenue, right off of Olympic Boulevard, like I said, in Mid-City LA. So you fans of the master himself, if you want to come, and it's kind of ironic that I got here because as you can see, it's for sale. And I'm gonna have to wait for open house. I have to go in there and do my due diligence and walk on the same floor that the great master lived in and walked on. I can't believe it. Original. Fantastic. And I'm amazed. All this whole area, it's pretty original. And this is a duplex, and he lived in 1104. So I guess when you walk in that door, there's probably two doors going to both sides. Wow. If you want to get a feel of Philip Marlowe, Raymond Chandler, and the books in the atmosphere, all you got to do is come to this area. And look at that. Raymond Chandler would have come home probably depressed that he got fired in his job at the Dabney Oil Syndicate, but thanks to his two friends, he testified in a trial for them. I guess they were executives, and they gave him out of appreciation $100 to live on per month when he got fired. And I would imagine that money was a ton of money back in 1932 in the depths of the Depression. What a hell of a time to lose your job. But that money paid off in dividends because he was able to gestate and develop his style and his talent with that money that his friends helped him out with. And thankfully within a year, 1933 December to be exact, is when his first short story was published. It was called Blackmailers Don't Shoot. And he would have obviously parked his car right here. The master himself, the savant of similes. Wow, look at that. And I'm peripatetic. I've been here 46 years in Los Angeles, and I can tell you, man, I've been to every exact spot that Raymond Chandler was 83 years before. And I'm telling you, the way he explains it exactly, if it's still there, the place or the neighborhood, it's exactly the way he describes it. But that was where he was perfect in describing scenes, the style that he developed to write those scenes. It would take him months. He was a perfectionist. Him being an alcoholic notwithstanding, of course. And if you've never read Chandler, I would highly suggest that you read his books, because if anything, that'll develop your reading ability and your knowledge, and just like pretty much make you well read, at least the feeling of well read, what with his use of seething, dripping simile. Fantastic. I'm so glad it's here. I'm so glad it hasn't been destroyed or gutted or torn out. But as you can see, this part of LA, most of it's all pretty much original. And when he got fired, he said that he used to drive up and down the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway, and he would read a lot of Earl Stanley Gardner, the author of Perry Mason, to develop himself and how to write a detective story. And then he would read all the pulp stories in this magazine in the 1930s called Black Mask. Anyway, when he wrote that first book, a year later, or that first short story called Blackmailers Don't Shoot, Black Mask, it was the magazine that published it. And he wrote around LA because, I mean, every spot, like I said before, that he described, I've been there. So he really must have gotten around, man, back then. But then of course it was probably easier too, because you had this old part of LA and then everything else was all rural. What a beautiful, beautiful house he lived in. I could just see him coming home and walking up those steps. Anyway, when you come, if you're a fan anywhere in the world, thankfully you can get a feel of what it was like in the 1930s and 40s right here in LA, in this part of LA, old LA. And thankfully everything's pretty much original. So when he lived here in 1932, he also moved to Silver Lake sometime in 1932 with his, and he lived with Archie and Lavinia Brown, his brother and sister-in-law, Sissy's, I guess Sissy's sister. And then from there they moved to 4616 Greenwood Place, where I've already been, and I videotaped it and I uploaded it to YouTube for you fans of Raymond Chandler. So please subscribe to my channel, and you could take this virtual tour of Raymond Chandler's, Philip Marlowe's Los Angeles film noir, 1930s atmospheric Los Angeles. Okay, follow me and we'll continue this virtual tour of Raymond Chandler's / Philip Marlowe's Los Angeles of the 1930s and 40s. Beautiful. Okay, thank you very much.